Well, you may have noticed that the similarities between me and Frank. Because Frank just came out of the room, he's like, because we are exactly the same, and in black today. So, I don't know what was scarier, the mist or your character.
Were you scared by her?
Yeah, a little bit unnerving. I would say. One of the best things about this movie is, and it's, you say what you will, supernatural, monsters, or whatever, it's the people, because people really show their true colors under a pressure situation.
Under fear, people do. Whether they're true colors or not, I actually feel like people can be led to behave outside of their area of ethics and morality when they're led by fear. And I say that, certainly full aware that there's political implications there as well, which I feel like we've been in the midst of that. Forgive the pun, midst. But we have been in the midst of that, and, we commit atrocities in the name of fear, or led by fear. And so that's what happens in this film, that, there is a horrendous thing that happens, a supernatural element that happens in the film. And it's terrifying and horrible. And all people can do is hang on to each other in this little store. And then there's the fear voice. And in this case, it happens to be the voice of God, but I don't think it's a indictment on, very religious people at all. In fact, I don't think that's what was scary about her. I think it's scary what she does with it, and that she's divisive rather than community-oriented, and that she interprets something so literally that the literal interpretation allows for a moving away from God or good or whatever is right. Anything that has to do with talking about sacrifices or blood, or, if you take it into an expansive place, talking about God doesn't love gay people, or we should, stone other people, or whatever. Yeah. That's not the right way to be. And so that's what I mean. Fear and sometimes those interpretations lead us away from that which we know is the best in us. Yeah.
And especially the fact that the more power that she got,
the more people came.
Exactly.
It's the mob power. And they're more and more and more afraid because the situation only got worse. And there was no respite in sight. And her voice was very, very powerful. But that's what I loved about the movie, that it was on the level of a Misery or Exorcist, that it wasn't a horror film and the actors were going to spend most of their time going, while blood is splattered across the scene. It was about how do people behave? And to that end, he leaves these atrocious creatures almost... They're not left to your imagination. We get to see them. It's wonderful CGI. But the sounds, the groaning, the anticipation, the looking out the window before, pop, that's what I love about it.
You need to sneak into the theater when this is playing and see the audience's reaction to your character, because I would imagine this is going to be a first for you, being the villain, being somebody that everybody truly despises.
I think so. I think people go expecting me to be sort of like the humanitarian voice of, now come on people, and say something really meaningful. Mostly I wanted her to be real, because I felt like, look, if you and I are living in this day, and this mist comes and there's these horrible creatures in the mist, I might think it was the end of the world. I really might. I really, really might. And so if I really, really might, and she does, then at least we have to believe in her before we dismiss her.
Yeah. Absolute pleasure.
Nice to talk to you.